Hello, lovely people. In the run up towards the GCSEs, I thought we'd start working through some 5-a-days. So we'll just be working through this, and hopefully this will be revision or maybe some learning tips for how to do some of these more challenging questions. So if you're aiming for grades 8s and 9s, or the upper end of a 7, then this will be for you. Now, of course, if you're not aiming for those grades, you can still benefit very highly from this. So let's go. Prove that the product of two even numbers is always even. Okay, so how do we represent an even number? Well, we can represent one even number as, say, 2 times n. And we can represent another even number as, say, 2 times m. So this is specifically where n and m are integers. And it's as a product, so we are multiplying them. Now that multiplies to 4nm, or really 4mn, which is the same thing as 2 lots of 2nm. Why have I done that? It's just to show that it's even. That's it. So therefore, even. Happy times. Let's go to the next question. Given that f of x is 4x plus 1 over 7, find f minus 1 of x. So if we had instead that y equals 4x plus 1 over 7, to work out f minus 1, i.e. the inverse function, we're going to swap x and y. So we're going to let x equal 4y plus 1 over 7. Okay, so we've swapped x and y around. And now the goal is to make y the subject. So first of all, if we multiply both sides by 7, we get 7x equals 4y plus 1. So done that. Taking away 1 from both sides, we get 7x minus 1, which is equal to 4y. Then dividing both sides by 4, we get 7x minus 1 over 4 is equal to y. And that would then allow us to represent our inverse function. So f minus 1 of x is equal to 7x minus 1 over 4. Let's keep it moving. So next question, shown as a rhombus, calculate its area. First of all, it's a rhombus, so all 4 sides of a rhombus are the same length. So this is 10, and this here is 10, and this here is 10 as well. And to work out the area of a rhombus, let's just make that a little bit bigger. We need the perpendicular height, i.e. this here. Ooh, straight line. So what I've made here is actually a right angle triangle. And if this here is 80 degrees, I can write this one, because it's alternate, as an 80 degrees as well. And I know that the hypotenuse here is 10. So if I just draw that here, just a bit clearer, just a rough sketch, I have 10 and I have my 80 degrees, and I'm trying to work out my perpendicular height, which is my opposite. So I've got my hypotenuse, which is over here. So, and then this is adjacent. Out of SOHCAHTOA, and TOA, well, the one with both opposite and hypotenuse is this one here. So instead of writing like this as a triangle, I'm going to write it as with the replacements of what they actually are. So that's going to be like this, like this. So I have here sine of 80. Let me just make this pen a bit smaller because it is thick. And then for O, well, that's what I'm trying to work out. So it's opposite. And my hypotenuse is 10. So to work that out, that's going to be opposite is equal to sine 80 multiplied by 10. Okay, so that's going to be that there. Sine 80 times by 10. So now I've got that perpendicular height. I'm going to leave it like this for the moment and then do the calculations afterwards. So the area is going to be the base, so 10, times by the perpendicular height, which is essentially sine 80 times 10, which is equal to 100 sine 80. Just going to get my calculator and I'm going to work out what that is. So 100 times sine of 80, that is going to be 98.5 to one decimal place. So 98.5 centimeters squared, because it's an area to one decimal place. And there we have it. Next, Olivia has a fair four-sided dice and 2 boxes of sweets. Really wanted to say die, but you know, as in for the singular of the proper singular of dice, but there we go. The dice is labeled A, B, C, D. Box 1 contains 7 red and 3 green sweets. Box 2 contains 1 green and 4 red sweets. Olivia rolls the dice, and if she gets an A, she picks a sweet at random from bag 1. And if she rolls a B, C, or D, then she picks a sweet at random from bag 2. And the first part is to show this information on the tree diagram. So we've got, I guess the first instance, Olivia is going to roll, so roll the dice, and we have different options. So she can either get an A or BCD. Now we can replace this BCD as simply not A, because that is what it is, isn't it? So we've got A and we've got not A. So A complement, the dash. The probability of her getting an A, because it's a fair four-sided dice, so each letter is equally likely, it's a quarter versus 3/4. Okay, now it says that if she gets an A, then she'll pick a sweet at random from bag 1. Okay, well, technically box, but they changed it from box to bag, but we move. So with box 1, either you can get a red sweet or a green sweet. So we get red or green. There were 7 reds and there are 3 greens. So for red, it's 7 out of 10. And for green, it's 3 out of 10. I'm just going to change color so that we can keep track of what's going on. Now, next we have like this. And if she doesn't get an A or BCD, then she picks a sweet at random from bag 2. Bag 2 or box 2 has 1 green and 4 red. So I'm just going to put red and green. And because there are 4 reds, that's 4 out of 1 green makes 5 in total. So 4 out of 5. And for green, it's going to be 1 out of 5. And that is the information represented on a tree, so boxes. Now, we're definitely going to need to use this information. I haven't even read the question, but I'm sure we will. Olivia rolls the dice and picks a sweet at random. Olivia obtained a green sweet. Find the probability that Olivia rolled an A on the dice. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Let's first of all look at the instances in which we actually get a green sweet. A green sweet. So we can either get an A on the dice and a green sweet, or we can get not A and a green sweet. Right, let me just have a think. So Olivia rolls the dice and picks a sweet at random. Olivia obtained a green sweet. Find the probability that Olivia rolled an A on the dice. Okay. So if we know that she gets a green, that means we obviously know that she didn't get a red. Okay, so let's work out the probability that she gets an A and a green. So that's going to be, probability of A was a quarter, and because it's and, the and rule means times. So we multiply that by the probability of green, which is 3/10, and that together gives 3 out of 40. And then for not A and the green, I don't think we need to work this out, but I'm going to anyway. That's going to be 3/4 times green, which in this case was 1/5. So that's going to be 3 out of 20. Okay. Now, because we know that a green suite is obtained, what we can do is basically say that it's out of the probability of getting a green suite in general. Okay? We're going to consider this out of the probability of getting a green suite because it's a situation where we're given that it's a green suite. So your green suite is now like your total, as it were. So actually, we did need to work this out. So in general, the probability of getting a green suite comes from getting A and green, but it could also come from not A and a green. So that's the 3/40 plus the 3/20. So what is that? So 3/40, 3/20 is the same thing as 6/40. I guess you can use a calculator for this as well. So that's 9 out of 40. Okay, and we want to work out the probability that Olivia rolled an A on the dice. So we take this situation and we divide that by 9/40, like that. And using a calculator, it would simply give you that it's equal to 1/3. So that was quite a tough question, to be fair, but that's how it is. You know, when you're aiming towards this 8 to 9, sometimes you get questions like this. Let me know if you had any other ways for solving any of these problems, and I will see you in the next 5 a day. Take care.